I'm Salima Hakeem Muhammad.
I'm Donna Revere Dorman.
Christine Williams.
And Tony Willis Thompson.
The reason I decided to do this is because we're doing so many things, so many positive things in life, but we're never recognized. You know, we've had our children, we've raised husbands, we've taken care of people. Now this is all about us, and we're doing a lot of good stuff. You know, women and men, 50 plus. And we're also going to have men come on here to tell about their issues also. And the main thing about us is you have to love yourself. And you have to love yourself enough to be healthy. And, you know, as 50 plus, we go through a lot of things in life. And some of us are going through the symptoms of menopause. And that's something that, you know, the big M, we don't talk about. But it's real because most women have gone through it. Some as young as 35 years old. And we have one of the ladies here that are going through it. I haven't gone through it. Of course, I'm, you know, going through it in some ways, but I'm not having all the hot flashes and things like that. Sometimes I want them because I'm cold all the time. But Miss Tony is going through it. And tell us a little bit about the Big M, Miss Tony.
The Big M is something that I've just been introduced to. The hot flashes are not fun. They can be intense, and they come at a moment's notice. So I've learned with my body, there are certain things that trigger it, certain foods that I may eat, certain emotional responses that will do it. But I've done a little research, and I find that sage tea helps with the frequency and the of it. So that helps me, you know, to get it under control. I think I basically right now have it under control. And I also make sure that I have a portable cooling system with me at all times.
And so do you think that sage tea does help?
Sage tea has helped me tremendously. I know it may not work for some people, but it has helped me a lot because I might go through the day having no hot flashes and to having one or two, and basically none at night now. None at night.
Yeah, I remember when my mother was going through it, and my good friend, your mother, Barbara, was going through it, and it seemed to be so intense. But I know one thing with your mother, we would swim all the time, and I think that helps. I think the exercise probably helps also. But I know, like with my mother, it would come all of a sudden, she would just bust out and be all sweaty, and you know, it was like really bad for her.
It's bad. I've had to learn, especially like in the wintertime, I have to make sure that I have on layers of clothing that I can peel and still be presentable. I remember having a major hot flash without realizing that I was having them out to dinner one evening. And I had a wig on my head, and I thought I was kind of cute, and it came, and I'm like, well, what the heck is this? And I'm sitting here fanning and dewy and everything, and had to pull the wig back a little bit. And during that time, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't expecting it to be like a regular thing, but I had to learn, okay, you layer your clothing. If it's getting crazy, you pull one layer. All it takes is just a tiny change to help your body cool itself down.
Right. And you know, also, you know, when we are women of a certain age and we are doing our own thing, like I am the producer, executive producer of this show, and my own show, Salima Speaks, and I sew, I write, I do poetry, and a lot of other good stuff. And Miss Donna.
Miss Donna does a lot of good stuff, just like you, yeah. Salima.
And for one, Miss Donna takes ballet lessons. How about that?
I do take ballet classes on Saturdays in North Philadelphia, right off of Girard Avenue, at Studio 954, I believe it's called. At any rate, between ballet, there's African dance, there's Zumba, there's Tai Chi, there's salsa, And I could go on
And
and
you
on
also
with
play
that.
with the band.
I play with a number of bands in various churches throughout the city. I play congas, I play percussion mostly, bongos, shakeré, shakers, all that wonderful stuff.
Great, at
Make
65. See,
noise.
and Miss Christine.
I am an actress. I am a praise dancer. I design jewelry. And now I'm getting ready to start taking singing lessons just to enhance my vocals a little bit. I already sing gospel with a gospel choir.
Okay, Miss Tony.
And I design.
And Miss Tony's the baby of the group.
I'm the baby.
She's my best
I'm the
girlfriend's
baby.
daughter.
I am the baby. I am the baby. And I design jewelry, handbags, and sandals, and I have a love of those things. They're like my three things that I would spend money on before I started learning making them. So I just love those things. And of course, I do have a workout plan, which is a
And
must.
we're actually going to see some of Miss Tony's jewelry later. And also, I didn't mention that I do have an exercise tape out. It's an exercise tape for people that have never exercised before or people that are over 50. And it's called Selima Size. And we're all in the tape. And we're going to show you guys a little excerpt from our workout. And the thing is, we're moving parts of your bodies that you don't move, like your shoulders, your head, you're bending over. Things that you don't think to move, we're moving them. And you guys liked the tape, did you not?
Fun.
It was fun.
And we're
It's
going to show
enjoyable.
you some Selima Size. And we really have to be mindful of our health. And we have Dr. Stephanie Reed, and she wrote a book, From Pain to Empowerment. And she talks about not only the physical but the mental, and it all ties in together. You can't have a healthy body and a sick spirit, because it's not going to go together. So she deals with the whole body and making you a better you. So when we come back, we're going to have the beautiful Dr. Stephanie Reed come back. Welcome back to Our View talk show. And when we went to commercial, I'll let you know that we have a special guest, Dr. Stephanie Reed, and she wrote a book about empowering yourself at any age. Hello, Dr. Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I read in your book, I know we have a few things in common. For one, I lost my sister at an early age. Well, you lost your sister to cancer. I lost mine to murder, so it's a big difference. But the pain is still tremendous. But with you, it must be even different because you lost your sister to cancer.
I did.
And here now you know about cancer, and she knows how to cure people of different diseases. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm so excited, honestly. I mean, HIV, AIDS, diabetes, you can be cured in like 90 days of any disease. But let's get to, honestly, and so in your book, because you were telling about minerals, the 90. Tell me a little bit about the 90 and the minerals and all that good stuff. I like that.
Let's do a rewind.
Okay.
The rewind is I cannot cure you of anything.
Okay.
Right? I am a doctor of natural medicine, and natural medicine has the premise that if you give their body what it needs, take away what it doesn't, the body's going to heal on its own. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And through the book, you talk about emotional healing.
Yes.
Because I know that, your body can be healed of diseases, but if you're emotional, if you're going through things, the body's not going to heal totally.
You're right. So I did write the book on transformational healing. It's called From Panic to Empowerment. And the premise is we are a spirit first that lives in a body, and we have experiences, and we think. And our body is an expression of those two. And so when you think about healing, you're thinking about mind, body, spirit. But our minds can't be trusted because our perceptions and our perspective is based on the things that happen to us between the birth and 7, and that's the ideology that we keep. So when you're 7 years old and something happens to you, you hold onto an emotion because you have this story in your head. You're using that same emotional response when you're 45 and you're wondering why your life doesn't work. But that's why our bodies break down. And so if you look at your spirit, and the language of your spirit is your emotions, and then you reframe the story that you're telling, won't your body heal enough to relax enough to heal? And then healing can really happen that way.
And I noticed something interesting that you say that your life is impacted from 0 to 7. And once I read that, I started thinking about stuff. I started thinking about men. One of my favorite subjects. But anyway, I noticed a lot of men that have had domineering mothers that were mean to them, they find wives like that. And I know a couple of men that have had passive, nice mothers, and that's what they look for in their mates. Okay, you're smiling. So, I just noticed that. I kind of did my own little study, and I talked to some guys that I knew that had tragic, things with their crazy moms, and then I talked to men that had calmer mothers, and they seemed to look for calmer mates. So would you say that would be a reflection of something they went through from 0 to 7?
Well, you pick up from your environment. And as a child, you don't know what's right or wrong, good or bad. You only know what is. And so if it's comfortable for you because you're used to it, then you're going to gravitate toward that vibration.
Right. And also, I do want to talk about the 90, the minerals, and because I find that so interesting. Now, and I will tell you this, because I'm going to start this mineral thing that she's going to tell you about. But my thing is, honestly, taking all that stuff every day. It's like, now, if I had cancer or AIDS or something like that, I'm going to take it, okay? I'm going to take a shoe if it'll help me. But it's like, do you have to take all that every day in order to cure yourself? And first of all, tell me what the 90 thing is, please.
Okay, so let's start from some ground rules.
Okay.
We all know that we have to eat.
Right.
And what would happen if you didn't eat?
You would die.
What would happen
Starve.
if you didn't drink?
You would die.
What would happen if you didn't take a gasp of air every few seconds?
You would die.
There you go. So the body needs food, air, and water.
Okay.
The food is not what the body needs. The body needs what's the macronutrients in the food. And so if you turn over a food label, you'll find that the food label will give you calories, it will give you carbohydrate count, it'll give you a little bit of protein, some saturated fats, what have you. But at the bottom of the label, it will say, and it's very sad, this food does not give adequate amount of nutrition for a 2,000 calorie diet. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
So
It is
if you
on there.
turn it over, and let's say you're cooking breakfast, every item that you cook for breakfast, if you turned over the label and all the labels said the exact same thing, did your food give you any nutrition?
No.
Absolutely not. And so that's why you have to supplement because it's not there. Your body needs 90 nutrients every single day. Most people say, hey,
90?
I take vitamins, right?
Right.
Your body can create vitamins, but your body cannot make minerals, and minerals is the spark of life.
Okay.
Without the spark of life, the body breaks down, and it's diseases. We call those diseases, we gave them a name, but that's only the body's expression of the lack of nutrition. So it doesn't matter what you call it. So your body can heal from things we give bad names to.
Doctor, what about those that say people that are taking supplements, and because I personally take supplements, oh, you're pissing your money away. A lot of people say that. You're taking supplements, and as soon as you go to the bathroom, it's gone. You're wasting your money. So what do you have to say about that?
I will say it again. Your body needs 90 essential nutrients.
90.
And I would question the health of the person who's giving you that advice.
Exactly. Okay, now when you say 90, here we go again. Do I have to take 90 pills a day? How are you taking the supplements? I know
It's in a
there's
powder form.
okay.
It's in a powder form. Because remember, we're supposed to get the nutrition out of the food.
Right.
It's not,
It's
in
not
the
in
food.
there.
Does anybody know why it's not in the food? Because it's not in the soil. Right? It's not in the soil. So when foods grow, there's this misnomer that organic is healthier for you.
Right.
It's not, it's cleaner. Healthy is nutrition. So you can have two similar food groups, one be cleaner, but they both don't have the nutrition because the ground in which it was grown in has no soil. It's no nutrition in soil. So you have to supplement, and it comes in a powder.
Okay.
And I scoop it in a powder. Oh, and by the way, I am the baby of the group.
Yes, she is. I
Dr.
just-
Steph, we let her in, but she's not quite 50 yet.
I'll be
She'll
50 in 4 months.
in 4 months. So it has to be within a 6-month period. So you're saying that we don't have to take the pills every day, is in a powder form?
It's in a powder form.
Okay.
And the reason why that's so critical is because you need 60 minerals. And so you might take calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, but where's the other 85?
Okay.
Right? And so your body will break down because it doesn't have what it needs. If you had a beautiful car, and I like cars, right? And the car is well maintained on the outside, you wash your car, you get the tires, whatever, it looks good. But you don't rotate the tires, you don't clean the air filter, you don't do all the things you need to do to maintain the engine. That beautiful car is just gonna not be functional. Your beautiful body cannot be functional if you don't give it what it needs. I don't care if it's pizza, soda, crackers, cookies, gluten, all that stuff is poison to the body. But they don't tell you that because you make so much money, more money, giving you a prescription drug to treat, not cure.
Wow.
Right. To treat, not cure.
And
I like
also,
that.
I know
To treat, not
you
cure.
told me to look up Dr. Joel Wallach.
Dr. Joe Wallach, that's my man.
And I have been listening, you guys honestly, look up Dr. Joel Wallach. I have been listening to him, and it's unbelievable, what the medical field does to you. We tend to look at our doctors as gods.
Yes.
Most of us don't even touch our charts. I always reach for my charts. The doctors don't like it, but this is my chart. I want to see what you're doing to me. So Dr. Wallach talks about that, and it's a shame, honestly, that the stuff that doctors get away with doing to us. He's saying that honestly, like they had one doctor, I forgot his name, but he was a cancer specialist. He was telling people they had cancer and they didn't. He was treating them with chemotherapy and they didn't even have cancer. He went to jail for 45 years, but he destroyed and killed so many people before he did. So we have to almost be our own doctors.
Certainly.
And that's why I had to write the book From Panic to Empowerment, because when you have a dis-ease, and I connect the word, your body is screaming for something, but it's really your spirit that's really screaming, and your body is just kind of reacting to, it's trying to signal. There are 6 phases of health. There's the expulsion phase, there's the inflammation phase, and there's the degenerative phase. The expulsion phase is when you sneeze, wheeze, coughing, itch. That's what you want your body to do. It's signaling to you. But we ignore everything, don't we? Oh, it's just this, oh, it's just that.
Yes, we do.
And as we ignore it, it doesn't go away. Your body creates an experience of inflammation to protect it. And while you're in inflammation phase, your body can't figure out what it can do with the problem because it doesn't have the 90 essential nutrients. Your body goes into a degeneration phase. Inflammation and degeneration are asymptomatic. You do not feel them. So when you say, I'm healthy, and I go, so you don't feel anything? You go, no, I'm good. I'm concerned. Because that means it went into a cellular level to deal with it, and your body is degenerating under the surface.
Okay, and
Interesting.
so many people go through things like their knees hurting. My girlfriend just had knee surgery. And is there anything that you can do to rejuvenate that? Does the minerals help with things like that?
I'm so glad you're asking me these questions. So here's the deal. Your body is magnificent. Would you agree?
Yes.
If you cut, it's going to heal, right? Everything heals if you just leave it alone.
Right.
Every 90 days, every single cell in your body, except your central nervous system, regenerates. Every single one.
Now, I heard
Every
that
single
your
one. It is.
body does, but I heard it was like
It's-
every 6 months.
No,
Now you said
every 90 days, every cell.
Okay.
However, if you don't give the cell what it needs, that next 90 days, the cells that regenerated are weaker than the ones before.
Wow.
And every 90 days that your body doesn't have what it needs, your body continues to degenerate, and that's the disease that we call. So when you put nutrition back in your system, and you give it the first set of 90 days of nutrition, those new cells are better than the ones that got sloughed off, and that's why you can look younger as you get older. You don't have to age.
Okay.
Well,
And
you're
I'm getting
chronologically.
I'm getting you stuff like when she leaves here, I'll be getting my supplements like Monday. I'll
I
be 90,
agree.
looking like I'm 40. Okay.
Oh, loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of it.
What's the name of this powdered supplement that
You,
Okay, you want to answer that?
Yeah.
You had
I didn't know that we were gonna have
audience
quick
question.
questions.
But that's my girl.
Wasn't
She's free, so
expected.
She can do whatever she wants to do on my show, and she wants to know.
Yes.
you already have it?
The question was, what kind of powder is this and where do we get it, Dr. Stephanie?
Okay. So let's get away from the idea that it's a powder, because
Okay.
that conjures up so many things that
vision,
aren't positive. It's the nutrition that your body would get if you could get it in the food, but since you can't, you have to supplement. The program is called 90 for Life, and it's by a company called Longevity, and the founder is a world-renowned naturopath named Dr. Joel Wallach, who you kind of
is
referenced. He's
amazing.
phenomenal
He
and
is
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, look him up. I mean, I learned so much,
Yes.
and it just made me so angry. I wanted to punch my doctor in the stomach, you know, because I just had a thing with my doctor. As a matter of fact, my doctor told me that I had gout, okay, and she was going to give me steroids, okay.
What?
I looked it up. Nowhere does it say that steroids is a cure for gout, okay. I went back 30 days, and I knew I didn't have it because I looked at the symptoms. And I told her I didn't have it. She says, well, at least it's not AIDS.
Oh,
Gout is not that bad. So she took another test, and she said, oh, I just made a mistake. You don't have gout.
Oh,
of
my
course, she's no longer
goodness.
my doctor.
thank
You
you.
have to-
Close
that's why I said
that
we have to-
door.
We have to almost be our own doctors.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I did say cure, but you give us the nutrients and the information
Yes.
that we cure ourselves.
Yep.
Okay.
And we need to take responsibility. We need to take complete responsibility for who we are. We only get one time called life and one shot. And so if you don't feel comfortable about giving your power over to an entity that you know is going to give you something that's not going to support who you are, then why do you follow the advice? This is my favorite scenario. We're watching television and it says, try this medication. It's good for you. It will cure this, but it will cause bleeding ulcers. You'll go blind.
Exactly.
But ask your doctor.
And death.
Why?
And death. Yeah.
And so if we take our power back, we don't have to, but how do you take your power back? You start learning information from practitioners that can help you see what the truth is. And Dr. Joel Wallach is a phenomenal resource. But naturopaths in general are educators. And so we educate our clients on how to be proactive and change their own lifestyles, and then adding some things to the mix so your body can heal itself.
Okay, and tell people where they can get in touch with you and where they can get this amazing book. I read it in like 2 days, really good reading.
Well, the book From Panic to Empowerment is something that I'm very proud of, because it's not just a good feel-good book, it's a life tool. It's a life tool because if you don't understand that you're a spirit and you have thoughts and those are things that's creating or contributing to your physical disease, you're never going to get well. I don't care what you try, right? And so the From Panic to Empowerment is a book, it's a workbook, it's an audio book, it's an online course. I am so very serious about changing the dynamic of the healthcare system to understand that you are more powerful than you're giving your credit for. So the website is FromPanicToEmpowerment.com.
Okay. And thank you so much, Dr. Stephanie. Dr. Stephanie is going to be back. She's going to be like my Dr. Phil. She's going to come back with so much more information because it's just a world of information. I'm so glad that I met you, Dr. Stephanie, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thought I was finished with Dr. Stephanie, but someone in the audience was talking about mammograms. And as you know, we're taught to get mammograms often. Some do it every year. And I started to get one a couple weeks ago, and my mind said not to, so I didn't. And Dr. Stephanie said that I shouldn't. So I want for Dr. Stephanie to tell us why we shouldn't get mammograms.
Please don't get a mammogram. The reason why you don't need a mammogram, because a mammogram is, number one, not conclusive. There's research that proves that there's a large percentage, and I'm going to say the exact number because I don't know, there's a large percentage of women who are diagnosed that don't have cancer.
Oh, sorry, I do know because I did the research. 65% of all mammograms are wrong. 65% of all mammograms are wrong, okay? People have been told they had cancer and did not. Go ahead, Dr. Stephanie.
Yeah, and that's horrible. But you're taking the risk of putting so much radiation in your system. So if you didn't have cancer with all those other radiation treatments, you will have cancer eventually. And the reason why is because, again, we don't have the 90 essential nutrients, and there's so many free radicals in our system. It causes problems. So if I could, I'd like to give a few tips before I leave.
Sure, please.
One of the things that you've been taught for a very long time is to stop eating salt. Has anybody heard that? Don't put salt in your diet. There is no scientific evidence that's ever proved that salt created hypertension. As a matter of fact, salt and potassium is a life-death ratio of every single cell in your body. So when you don't have salt, you will definitely have gastrointestinal problems, allergies, cancer, kidney problems, liver problems. It's horrible, right? Here's the other thing. Salt is a mineral. And so when you sweat and you work out, it tastes salty, doesn't it? Yeah. Those are minerals. So when you're working out and you're not losing any weight, you're not losing any weight because your body is being starved, and it will not allow you to reduce if it doesn't have the minerals and you keep sweating them out. Salt is also so important because it creates hydrochloric acid in your body. Anybody have acid reflux, you think that you have too much acid. What that means is you don't have enough. You don't have enough because you're not eating salt to produce hydrochloric acid, and you need that to break down fats and proteins. When fats and proteins are not broken down to their proper micronutrient, then they become huge molecules in the blood. Gastrointestinal problems, colitis, diverticulitis, sound familiar? Right? And so salt is very important in the diet. The other thing you're told is to not eat eggs,
Right.
to not eat butter.
Cholesterol, they're saying.
Cholesterol is
Yes.
good for you.
Exactly.
I'll explain to you why. So, cholesterol is a precursor of every single hormone in the body, and we know that the sex hormones, 3 types of estrogen and testosterone. But what about the cortisol, the aldosterone, the serotonin? That's what cholesterol produces. Cholesterol is also the covering of your nervous system. It's called the myelin sheath. And so when your cholesterol is lowered, you ever notice you have numbness and tingling, and you have the neuropathies? That's because cholesterol is so low that the myelin is weak, and the conduction of the nerve is making you have pain. We call that neuropathy. Cholesterol is also what makes the cell circular. It's the lipid layer of the cell that makes the cell not have good stuff in and bad stuff out. When the cell gets weak, then your cell is permeable, and things get into the cell, and we get sick. 75% of cholesterol is in the white matter of the brain. When if you take a cholesterol-lowering drug, your body still needs cholesterol to do all those things that I just noticed. Your body is going to take the cholesterol from the place that it has the most resource, and that is the brain. That's what Alzheimer's is. It's a man-made disease.
So I was looking at Dr. Wallach, and that's what he said, that it's a man-made disease.
What do you think about the 3D imagery that they are giving women now for mammograms as opposed to the squishing thing? What do you think about that?
The best way to image any tissue for any abnormality is a sonogram.
Okay.
Even to its microscopic vessels, it can see the pulsation of it. Anything short of a sonogram, you're at risk for higher levels of radiation, which you don't need.
So that 3D imagery is also a waste of time, basically, or is not recommended? Or, okay.
And so you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
People are not going to listen to Dr. Stephanie. They're going to listen to their doctors. You know, I worked at Heinemann Hospital, and trust me, I've seen what doctors do to you, honestly.
I'm asking personally because I'm thinking about getting the 3D imagery thing.
No. But here's an interesting thought. The reason why we consider mammograms and 3D imageries is because there's an abnormality. The abnormality is because the body is weak and it's suffering and it's acting out. And so a tumor is an act out. Hypertension is your body acting out. Cancer is your body acting out. We just gave it names. The mechanism is still, we are 90 for life deficient.
And now you do studies yourself, right? And people can come to you and you can tell us what we have. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do hair tissue analysis. Hair tissue analysis is very phenomenal because anytime you want to know anything about the body, you want to use a tissue sample. But we can't go around taking people's bones, right?
Right.
And blood is inconclusive because blood is very transient. Your blood is changing constantly. And so hair goes to the lab and it tells me your biochemical makeup. And from your biochemistry, it tells me the level, your nutritional level for the macronutrients, the 20 of them. And then it tells me what you're deficient in and what you're toxic in. And it's those deficiencies that creates disease. So for instance, calcium and magnesium ratio will cause your thyroid gland to act up. Sodium and potassium too low will make you depressed. A copper deficiency is one of the reasons why you would be anemic, and it's not necessarily always iron.
So yeah, like I said, we're going to have Dr. Stephanie back on, but honestly, you guys please go to the internet and YouTube Dr. Joe Wallach. You will be surprised. It'll change your life, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be our own doctors because honestly, they don't care about us. Thank you so much, Dr.
You're
Stephanie.
welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you all for tuning into this edition of Our View. Today's Our View show is catered by Lex Chi Catering.